Hello, everyone, and welcome to this monthly Q&A session for the month of April. As we had decided earlier that we are going to do this monthly Q&A session on every last Sunday of every month. So here we are, live again, and thank you very much for joining in, all of you all who are connected now. Uh, as we had decided earlier that I'm going to start these sessions every time with a success story, a real life success story of some of my students. And last time I had talked about Amar Vora. Today I'm going to talk about one of my other very successful students. His name is Parth Bakshi. And Parth Bakshi happens to be the student from my first batch. He had come and joined the very first batch that we had begun in the year 1998. And while he was fresh out of college, and he was going through a real tough time in his life as a young man, all of 20, 21 years. And the tough time that he was facing was that he had very recently, at that time, lost his father. And he was the only man in the family. And at that young age, to shoulder those responsibilities of the entire family, he decided to do this course. And he came to meet me. And after knowing the details about the course and about the industry, way back in 98, the industry was not as big as it is today. But he had the faith. He had the faith in the course that I talked to him about, and also had the trust. And once he joined the course, after completing the course, he went on to work with the GSA of Lufthansa here in Ahmedabad, and that was a great way to begin his career. And soon after, he went and worked with Jet Airways for a few years. And after that, he worked with a great company called Thomas Cook. And he started handling uh, MICE meetings, incentives, corporates, and events. That's what he went into. And after working for around 15 or 16, 17 years, just recently he decided to become an entrepreneur, and he has started his own company. And this company helps people, companies, to organize these MICE events. And he's been very successfully running this company since last 2 years now. And well, that's the story of Parth Bakshi. He was also recently, last month, we had Global Partners Training Conference in Delhi, and he was invited there by IATA also to come and share his success story. And you can watch his entire session that went on at the IATA conference last month on the IATA training website, or the Facebook page of IATA training. You can look it up on that. So we are going to, as we had decided, that we are going to do, take all the questions, and we have Rishabh here along with me to help me with all the questions that have come in till now. And we are going to uh, take up each question one by one, Rishabh,
Yes, sir.
and try and answer them. And
Sure, sir. So we have one question. This is from an anonymous person because he has not mentioned his name. The channel from he is operating is Fun with Cyril. And the question is that he has a question regarding IATA. In IATA Foundation Travel and Tourism course, which module do we follow?
Well, do we follow or we teach all the IATA Foundation course has altogether 13 modules, and we train you for all these 13 modules. We train you for all the 13 modules, and along with the 13 modules, there is also the GDS that is a part of it. Amadeus, Galileo, Sabre or Abacus. And here in this part of the world, as I have also mentioned previously, that Amadeus is one of the most widely used. So we train our students for Amadeus. We train our students for Amadeus. So you can learn that also.
So we have a question from Nitish Lodi, and the question is, what will be the salary after learning Amadeus?
After learning Amadeus, why only Amadeus? You should do the entire IATA Foundation in Travel and Tourism Diploma, Nitesh, and after doing this, of course. You start off. I always tell all my students, don't worry much about this salary part right in the beginning, because you start off in the industry as freshers, and as freshers you probably, if you compare the salaries with other options that you may have, like a call center or a banking job, the salaries are good enough to begin with. As a fresher here in Ahmedabad, people start off at around anywhere between 10 to 15,000 rupees as a monthly salary. And the best part, Nitesh, is that you will get to grow very quickly in the industry. That's what I always encourage all my students to do. I mean, today, one of our students who I had mentioned last on my last Q&A, Amar Vora, he started off probably as a ground staff at Ahmedabad airport, working with various airlines. But very soon, when Singapore Airlines came in to operate from direct flights from Ahmedabad, he was picked up by Singapore Airlines. And in Singapore Airlines also, once he joined, he climbed up, and today he's the manager. He's the deputy manager at the Ahmedabad airport. So even with Parth, what I mentioned today, Parth worked for many years with companies like Thomas Cook and Jet Airways and Lufthansa. Of course, he had a great package, but now, as I told you, that he's taken a step forward and he's become an entrepreneur. So the growth could be very nice in this. Initially, wherever you get a chance, I just say grab it, take it up. Don't worry much about the salaries.
So we have a follow-up question from Nitish itself, and what he's saying is that he has done his BBA already in travel and tourism. That's why he's asking only for Amadeus.
Yeah, BBA I think from some private college you would have done the BBA. It's a great thing that you've done that. Nothing against it. But the industry, the travel and tourism industry recognizes these qualifications, the IATA qualifications, So I recommend, it's not going to take you very long, Nitesh, to do this course. Anywhere between 4 to 6 months, you can finish this course and you can get a certificate of IATA. And that gives you an edge over all the others who've done BBA. IITTM is one of the best. But as I told you, the industry recognizes IATA as the topmost qualification. I recommend, because it's really short term. I'm not asking you that give me 4 another years. It's only 4 months. We train here in 4 months and finish the course in 4 months. So I would recommend that you do that IATA Foundation Travel and Tourism Diploma, and then you have 2 qualifications, and the best one also, the IATA qualification. Good luck and God bless, Nitesh.
So there's a question from Ankita Sharma. She is asking, that can be appointed as an officer in the airline field after clearing ITA
Well, of
test?
course, I told you, I just mentioned Amar Vora. Not only Amar Vora, there are so many other students of mine who are working at the airport, officer in the airline field. Yeah, they're working. When you work with airlines, Ankita, there are two choices that you get. One, you can be working in the city office where you're involved in reservations and ticketing and administrative work. And the other part is you get to a chance to work at the airport. When you work at the airport, then you are responsible for doing the check-ins. Of course, there are ticket counters at the airport also at the outside. You would be responsible for that. You would be responsible for ramp handling, baggages. So there are these two choices that you have. Either you work with the airline in the city office, or you work with the airline at the airport. And you can work either with a domestic airline or an international airline also. So the best is to get qualified, and then of course whenever there are vacancies in these airlines, you can look them up on the websites of these airlines. I have mentioned this before also. Careers is the part where you should visit those websites of the airlines and get into careers to see if there are vacancies. And of course, you'll be able to work with an airline. IATA is formed by all these airlines. All the airlines of the world come together to form this body called the International Air Transport Association. So of course, you'll get a chance to work with an airlines.
So there's a question from the channel Fun with Celeb, and the question is, what is the starting salary after ITA in Africa?
Oh, okay. Africa also. There is one travel agency which has absorbed so many of our students. Uh, uh, Salaries there, but it's a company which is owned by Indians. Africa, I would have to find out. I have a few of my students working there. Probably I will be. I don't bother about this much going into those personal questions. How much salary? I've never checked with my students, but I'll definitely do that and answer this question of yours. I have a few students who I am in touch with in Africa. Which country in Africa? If you please let me know, then I would be able to give you the precise answer.
Okay. So there's a question from Suman Nandi, and the question is, can I join ITA Travel and Tourism course stream on arts? Maybe she has done something. Suman has done something in arts, and she's just asking as a follow-up that.
Oh, any stream. What's her name? Suman. Sorry. Suman, I have mentioned this, that this has no restriction about which stream you belong to. You may be from arts, you may be from commerce, you may be from science. Doesn't matter. You can enter this industry. You can enter this industry very easily. But as I said, that please get yourself a great qualification and do your IATA course, and that's how you can get yourself qualified. Arts, commerce, science does not matter. So you should get on to doing the course. IATA course, one of the IATA courses, and the best one, which I recommend always, is the IATA Foundation in Travel and Tourism Diploma, because that the name itself says Foundation is for beginners, and it's a very nice course that you can do.
So there's a question from HL Talk. I'm not able to understand the question. Maybe we can ask him to question again. The question he has framed is ITA Premium Top 10 classes included IITC. So what is your thought about?
Of course, IITC is also a authorized training center. Which part of India are you in? You can let me know, and I'll be able to tell you exactly. But they are an authorized training center for many years also. They are our colleagues.
So there's a question from Shafqat Nawaz. The question: what is the total cost of ITA Foundation course and the duration of it?
Well, the total cost of IATA foundation course is somewhere around $645 plus when they charge you additional for the kits to be couriered from Canada. It's somewhere around 45, so $690 is the cost for the IATA foundation course.
Okay.
HL Talk is saying they are based in Ahmedabad.
Yes.
Well, if you are in Ahmedabad, I can guarantee you this, that ITTI is the best institute. You should come and study here with me. You are always welcome. You can check our website, www.ittih.com, and you can find my address over there, and you can come get in touch with us. We recently started a batch, and the next batch will begin in the month of June, sometime in the month of June or July. So you can get on to that batch with us.
So there's a question from Prashant Teji, and the question is that if somebody is not able to clear the IIT exam in the first attempt, does he get second chance to appear for the same?
Very good question. Yeah, many students are concerned about this, isn't it? That if we don't get through in the first attempt, you get a second chance. And that second chance, the fees are already covered in the fees that I just mentioned. When you pay the fees, when you register yourself, IATA already offers you 2 chances for the exams. There are many students who unfortunately could not get through in their first attempt. They always get a second attempt, but you'll have to wait because these exams are conducted every quarter. So if you attempted the exam in March and if you could not get through, you can get on to the next exam session, which is in June, September, or December. They will leave a choice up to you, which one you want to get on to.
So there's a question from Ankita Sharma. She's saying she's going to be doing bachelor's in travel and tourism from Punjab University, and after that she wants to do IITA course from our institute. Is there a possibility that she will get a direct job in international airline after that?
As I told you, Ankita, of course, whenever there are openings in the international airlines, you can take up jobs. I have students here in Ahmedabad who are working with Qatar Airways, with Emirates, with Etihad, with Singapore Airlines, with British Airways, with Lufthansa. They're working with many airlines over here. And this, as I told you, Ankita, is considered as the best qualification. And I'm sure you will also be able to get a job in an international airline. You will be working, as I told you, either at the airport as a ground staff or in the city office, reservations and ticketing, sales, marketing departments.
So there's a question from HL Talk, and the question is, can you teach us both GDS software, Amadeus and Galileo?
So for the exams, you'll have to choose one of those, either Amadeus or Galileo. I will leave the choice up to you, and you can do either of the two, either Amadeus or Galileo. That's how IATA offers. The course itself, once you register, it will read as a Foundation in Travel and Tourism diploma, or Foundation in Travel and Tourism with Amadeus, or Foundation in Travel and Tourism with Galileo. You have to choose one of those. Later, at a later stage, once you step into the industry, you can always learn the other one. If you're choosing Amadeus, you can learn Galileo later. If you're choosing Galileo, you can learn Amadeus later. It's possible. Don't worry. For the exams purpose, you'll have to choose only one of those.
So a question from Nitish, that he has already told that he has done BBA from IITM. Now he is asking, is there a requirement to do an MBA, or just an IITA certification would be sufficient?
Let me give you a reply on this. As per what my student, one of my very successful student, has done. He did this course. So now you've done BBA, okay? He did this course, the IATA Foundation course, and he started working with Jet Airways. After an experience of 3 or 4 years, after taking that experience, he went on to, then do his MBA. So he had a little bit of an advantage in doing the MBA also, after gaining those 3 or 4 years of experience. Education, I will never say no to education. You will always benefit out of the MBA that you will do, Nitesh. Think about it. Nikhil was one of my students who did this. He did his graduation, then he did his IATA. He worked in the industry for around 3 or 4 years, and then he went on to do his MBA. I think he was a little better off that way. But if you choose to do your MBA, I would still recommend that along with your MBA itself, you can do the IATA course. Only 4 months, part time. You will only be able to, if you are able to spare 2, 3, 4 hours per day, 2 hours initially, which grows on when you get closer to the exams to put in those many number of hours. If you are ready to put in, you can do both together also. The choice is yours.
So, question from SSB. The question is that pursuing IATA wants to settle in Canada. How would you guide him?
Well, this certificate, as I told many times, that this certificate is recognized all over the world. It's globally recognized. So there are students of mine who are working in countries like USA, Canada, UK, in the Middle East, so many countries in the Middle East, Australia, New Zealand. So this certificate is recognized globally. So that's the biggest advantage that you have. You can do the course, get the certificate, and apply for jobs in Canada. They recognize these certificates there.
So there's a question from Prashant Teji. The question is, what is the passing mark to clear the IATA Foundation course?
Passing marks is 60% to do this course, and you can get a distinction if you score 85%.
So, question from Amitabh Sinha. The question is, where can he find the IATA office in Mumbai?
IATA office in Mumbai. I don't know whether you mean to say the office of International Air Transport Association or one of the authorized training centers to do the course. Your question is not very clear, but you can. I'll suggest that you log on to www.iata.org. You'll get the information for both. Whatever you're looking for, you'll get the information on that. www.iata.org. I can see this HL Talk is asked one more question. What does this HL Talk stand for? Can I please know about that? If you can please write to me, what is this HL Talk about? Your question is, can I get a job during IATA classes for an experience? I would suggest not to take up a job so that you can focus on what you're studying. My first aim would be to get qualified, to get through the IATA exams and get the certificate. So I would not recommend that you take up a job simultaneously. There are sometimes there are certain it's different, isn't it, when you're doing the theory and when you get into practical. So even that may sometimes bother you about why the theory is saying this and the practical is something little different than that, and it'll leave you in some kind of a confusion. And also taking up a job in this industry is very, very demanding, this industry. So it really will take your focus away from studying the course. So I would recommend study the course, give it 4 months, and then think about taking up a job.
So there's a question from Shraddha, and the question is, she's asking us to explain what is ITTI and what do we do about the institute.
ITTI stands for International Travel and Tourism Institute, and we are a IATA authorized training center based in Ahmedabad, and we have been doing this. We have been doing this since 1998, so almost 21 years now. And we've had many successful students who have carved great careers in this industry since the time we began teaching this course. So we are the IATA Authorized Training Center, basically providing courses for travel and tourism. If you want to pursue a career in travel and tourism industry, you can come join the course. Travel and tourism industry consists of domestic airlines, international airlines, travel agencies, tour operators. It's a vast industry, but these are the four main avenues that you will get into after doing the course.
So we have a question from Arohi, and she says that she watches every single video of ours on YouTube.
Thank you so much, Arohi.
And what she wants to, basically her question is that she wants to proceed her career in travel and tourism, but her father feels that this career option is not meant for girls, and there are more men who are pursuing this course. So she's asking, what is your take in it?
I was on a flight last evening of Indigo, and it was all girls crew in the cockpit to fly the aircraft, and on the plane to do the service, the cabin crew. They were all girls, and both the captain and the first officer, they were also females. So this, I think, is a very wrong thought process of your father. You can always write to me on my email, and I can share some of this data with you. But let me assure you and let me tell you that I've been training for so many years. The batch is always very close to 50-50, 50% girls and 50% boys. Sometimes you'll be surprised when I say this, that there are more girls in the batches that we conduct here, and I've been talking about since last 20 years, keeping in mind the experience of 20 years. So please tell your dad that times have changed, and there are many girls who work in this industry, and you can also make a great career. You can also share some data with him. If you try and find out some data how this industry is growing, and especially in India, this industry is growing at a very rapid pace, and great opportunities, great career opportunities coming up. So please try and convince your dad. You can always write to me or call me. I can also speak to him. We can have a chat, and we can see. My own daughter has done this course, and yeah, my own daughter has done this course, and probably she'll be a part of this industry soon.
So a question from Nitish, that passing marks is 60 out of 100.
Oh yes, 60 out of 100. 60 out of 100, Nitish.
Yeah. So there's a question from Asha, and the question is, I have completed IITA in 2010. Do I have a scope to get a job now?
If you've done your IITA, the qualification stays with you, but for all practical purposes, there have been a lot of changes, Asha, in the industry since 2010 to 2019. I might recommend that you should get onto a refresher course or something, or go through your books again, and try and see if you can get in touch with some people who are working in the industry and get some updates. Just a refresh or a refresher course. I don't know where you are based, but you can always seek help from people who are a part of the industry to see how it has changed and how you can cope up with that. The qualification, it stays with you for life, so that's not a question. You can try and get a job, but as I told you, things have changed since 2010 to 2019 now.
So a question from HR Talk, that what kind of English do we use in IITA course? Is it very demanding in terms of the language, because he's not very good with English?
What a very nice, he's posing very good questions. I'm still requesting you to let me know what is HL Talk. I'll try and Google, but if you can just type and let me know what is HL Talk. A great question. Look, this course, IATA writes these books for the entire world. Okay, they definitely keep this in mind, that English is not used in the entire world as the first language. So when they write these books, they have made an sincere attempt to write it in as simple English as possible. Because as I told you, that these books are not meant only for a particular region or a particular country, they are meant for the entire world. So they keep this in mind, and they've done a great job. The English is not that tough. It's not that tough. It's very simple. And as I explained it to you, that these books are used by students the world over. So they have to make it that way, that people all over the world would find it easy to understand, and that's how they've written the books. More questions?
So we have completed 30 minutes. We can wait for 2 minutes if you have a question. We have got a question from HL Talk itself, that I am Hitesh Lalwani, sir. Thank you for giving me answers.
Oh, Hitesh, thank you for connecting with us, and it was a pleasure. You asked some very pertinent questions and very important questions so far as this course is concerned. I don't know where you are based, Hitesh. Are you based here in Ahmedabad, or which part? Do connect with me, and if you are interested to doing this course wherever you are, we'll be able to help you. So get connected with us. Yeah. Good luck to you, Hitesh, and God bless. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's 31 minutes and 20 seconds. Sir, IATA course focuses on theory or practical? The first 11 modules, that is, I call them as the theory part, the first 11 modules. The module number 12, that is for airfares and ticketing, and 13 for GDS, I call it the practical part. So theory and practical both are covered. It's a fantastic course, Nitesh. It's a very in-depth. It will give you a very in-depth knowledge about the travel and tourism industry. So 32 minutes now, and yeah, so we call it a day. Next month, in the month of May, we shall meet the last Sunday, as I have promised, that last Sunday of every month. So for the month of May,
we'll meet on the 26th.
26th of May, no?
Yeah,
26th of May is the last Sunday in the month of May. So I'll see you guys on 26th of May. Till then, if you have any questions, you can always write to us, pour in your questions. I'll try and answer all those questions on the 26th of May. And don't forget to connect. It's great when we get connected like this. So I wish all of you all the very best. And this industry is in a huge growth path, on the path of huge growth. So I would encourage all of you all to, whoever is thinking, please join this industry and make a great career for yourselves. So here's wishing all the best to all of you. Good luck and God bless. I'll see you on the 26th of May, sharp at 11 a.m. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.